Phil. Awesome. And Jennifer Ciarletta from Ackworth, and Gabe O'Neill. Hey, Gabe. Sandra Campbell, Ackworth, new. Welcome. Kim Hall from Kennesaw. Karen Nichols, Canton, restarting. Welcome. Glad you're back. First time, so I'm not sure what to do. New from Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome, Roseanne. We're glad you're here. And Joni for a refresh. Patty from Valdosta, new. Penny Robinson, new from Ringgold, new and refresh. Casey Vaughn, new from Tryon, Georgia. Nancy Scarborough from Cumming, Georgia, new and one of refresh. Refresh from Joni Manley and Kim Stroud, Blairsville, Georgia. Brenda Jones watching from Lilburn. Refresh after a long stretch of holidays. I understand. Heather Henderson, new from Chatsworth. Melissa, okay, we did that one. And then we got Jennifer Pritchett, Dalton, Georgia, not new on restart. Tiffany Owen from Athens, Georgia. Lori Pearson, Mount Airy, Georgia. Vicki Stoner, Cahutta. Judy Crumpton, Judy in Georgia, yes. Rachel Corey, Woodstock. Hey, Rachel. Susan Matthews, Center, Alabama. And Winter, Charlotte, North Carolina. Refresh. Trip Self, Macon, Georgia. Brand new. Welcome. Ann Roberts, new and executed. Oh, excited. Okay. From Conway, South Carolina. Christina Smith, Covington, Georgia. Basically a newbie, though I joined a couple of years ago. Need to start refresh. MJ Dobbins, hey there, Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, MJ, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. Went to Hewitt-Trussville High School, went to UAB for my undergrad and graduate work in education. Let's see. I got you, Annette. That's funny. Linda Stansel from Hiram, Georgia, and Sherry Pruitt from Palm Harbor, Florida. Rebecca Gilbert and Lynn Ulrich. Yay. Emily Weldon from Ider, Alabama. Jody Manley from Chattanooga. Judy starting over. Refresh. You can do it, Judy. I'm so proud of you posting that picture the other day. Hey, Donna from Surprise, Arizona. New. Welcome. Hey, Jerry and Sharon and Lee Ford. Welcome from Cave Spring. Michelle Harper, hey there. Michelle is a devoted Shibboleth member. We're so thankful for her. Karen Rogers, Ball Ground, Georgia. Lynn Pierce, St. Augustine, Florida, starting again. Rebecca Case from Trenton. Stephanie Nix, joined in 2014 and did wonderful, but gained back plus. Yeah, we got to follow it. We got to keep following it. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and ready to get refocused. Well, I am so glad that y'all are here with me. If I missed anybody, I didn't mean to. They were flying. All these comments. We got 56 people on here, and you know what? It's usually half of the people that sign up. So that was accurate because we had about 100. We had 109 register. Those of you that I did not get to say hello to on Facebook, please know that there's something going on up there. Okay, I can't say its name, but the SIRI thought I talked to it when I said hello to somebody whose name sounded like that. But hello on Facebook, everybody. All right, we are going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Hey, Michelle, glad you're here. So we're going to get started. And hey, Katie from Rome, Georgia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you, okay? And you don't need to screenshot this PowerPoint or anything like that. I know a lot of people, I'm the same way. When I don't think I'm going to have access to something later, I'll screenshot it and save it on my phone like I'm going to really miss something. But I wanted to, that's right, Monica, that's what happened. I wanted to make sure that you know that you'll have access to this PowerPoint that I'm sharing. You'll have access to this later. So you don't need to screenshot it or anything like that. If you're going to do anything at all tonight, it is to take notes. It's not to worry about screenshotting. And in fact, at the end, I will show you where to find this so that you can go back to it. And if you want to print it out, you can print it out. All right, so this is the Shibboleth lifestyle. We are not a diet. It is an education system. We're going to teach you how to eat in a way that controls insulin. We're going to teach you some little daily disciplines that need to be applied no matter what. And we're going to live this wonderful lifestyle together. I'm Kim Danke. I'm your fast track instructor. I found this lifestyle in 2019, and I started off at 185 pounds. I wanted to lose to 150, so that's 35 pounds. I did that in 3 months, and then I went into our maintenance program. I lost another 15 pounds in maintenance for a 50-pound weight loss, and I thought, thank you, Lord, I'll take that. Thank you so much for that extra 15 pounds and of that gift. And then I have been maintaining this weight loss now for about 17 months. So last year, all year long, I was in maintenance mode, and I'm still in maintenance mode. Okay. So this is very, very doable, but you kind of got to get excited about it. And you kind of like, I get to live this lifestyle. So it's got to be something that you choose to do every day, that you want to do every day. So we're going to hopefully keep you motivated through all of our education classes and our Facebook support groups and our wonderful website. So all of those things are there for you. So tonight I'm going to teach you the basics, because when you join a lifestyle like this, one of the things that's really, really important is to learn the terminology that we use. It's like you are going to be talking a different language almost. It's not a hard language, it's not complicated, but if you've never been told the words that we're going to use or how to read a chart, those kind of things, then you're not going to know what to do. So that's what tonight is all about. And I am very much a person who is to the point. Okay. I don't mess around with what I'm going to say. To me, these are very concrete things that we can start doing tomorrow. There is no reason to delay in doing them. We can do them tomorrow so that we can take action on them, and we can also measure them. We'll know whether or not we met the little daily things that you do. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you have questions, feel free to ask. If you are taking notes, which I hope that you are, they're going to come in handy tomorrow night, because this is a two-part series. In fact, tomorrow night's extremely important. It's 1 hour on one of the most important components of our lifestyle. That's food combinations. So you're going to want to come back tomorrow night for sure. But the notes that I tell you to take tonight, I ask you back tomorrow night. So take notes. Okay, so the basics are this. We have two modes. You are either in weight loss mode or maintenance mode. And there's three differences between these two modes. One is simply the number of holidays that you use in a calendar month. And we'll talk about that in a second. Two is how you eat fruit. I know that sounds funny, but how you eat fruit. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And then the third one is your mindset, because those people that, and y'all tell me, those of you that are refreshing, you had success and then you didn't stick with it, because you've got to get to the mindset that this is a lifestyle. This is not a project that has an end date. The end date is the end of your life. We've got to keep this going, because if we stop doing the things that are creating success for us, then the success is going to go backwards, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, so those are the three differences between the two modes. There are two types of days in Shibboleth: a perfect day or a holiday. So you're either going to do it right, or you're going to have a holiday, which is still part of our plan. Now, if you have tried other lifestyles or diets or whatever before, you may have heard the word cheat day. We do not use cheat day. Cheating has a negative connotation to it, and I want us to know that holidays are fun. They are part of this lifestyle, and you can have some. Okay, so it's either a perfect day or a holiday. We're going to put a positive spin on that rather than a negative spin on that. Many, many, many of you have joined this lifestyle with our most recent lifetime membership offer. When you go in to journal for the very first time, and I'm hoping that y'all go ahead and do that tomorrow or Tuesday, as soon as you feel comfortable, but go ahead and start doing that soon. You're going to have this little drop down menu in your journal, and you're going to see a lot of different options, and you're going to go, what in the world are all of these options? Okay. Two of those options are perfect day and holiday. I only want you to be concerned right now with perfect day or holiday. Those other types of days are other types of perfect days. But those are days that once you get Shibboleth, living that lifestyle, living it down, then you can advance into those other types of days. So that's the other great thing about this lifestyle is there's always continuing education. We have a founder who is always trying things out, perfecting things, turning them into something really awesome and fun for us. So there's a lot of days in there that can be considered perfect days, but please know we are not focused on those right now. Right now in the beginning, it's a perfect day or a holiday. Don't let those other ones confuse you or overwhelm you. Just ignore them. You ignore them until you have a desire to move forward with them. But that would only be after you're getting the basics down, okay? All right. How many holidays are allowed? In weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. Okay, 6. And I did a post today because I like to plan my holidays out. I will look at my calendar for the month and I will ask myself, am I going out of town? Because I usually want holidays when I'm going out of town. Then I ask myself, is there a birthday or an anniversary or an actual holiday in this month that I need to make plans for? And then the third question I ask myself is there anything else on this calendar that is work or other things that revolves around food that I might want to participate in? And is it worth a holiday? So I look at my calendar and I plan my holidays out based on, those typical days where you just kind of need to eat with everybody and do what they're doing. But those other days need to be perfect days, okay? Now that's in weight loss mode. Once you get into maintenance mode, you can utilize up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. Now, what is a holiday? A holiday is just a day where you're not meeting some component of the Shibboleth shield. And we're going to go over that shield in just a second, okay? So you're just not meeting some component of that shield, and you would call that a holiday. That's that. So let's have a look at this shield. So how do you have a perfect day? So you have a perfect day by following the Shibboleth shield. After 2 perfect days, your body gets into EFB, and I like to call it EFB, baby, efficient fat burning. I did not know that we could access the stored energy. See, what fat is it's stored energy. We overate by X number of calories on a certain day that didn't get burned off and they got stored. And then it happened another day and they got stored. So we have on our body stored energy and it's in the form of fat. We need to access that for our energy. And when you get into EFB after 2 perfect days, you're going to be accessing that energy, which is fat. And that's how it's going to be flaking off, falling off, burning off. Awesomeness. It's going to be happening. Okay. So just let me talk to you about this. When you're journaling on your first perfect day, you see a check, a green check. On your second perfect day, you see a green check. So those are good icons to see on your timing chart. What you journal in your journal translates into a little icon on your timing chart, and that's just a calendar month, and so it's a visual of how you're doing. On that third perfect day, you are going to see a flame. And my friend Rachel is in EFB today for the first time, and I'm so excited for her. She's got a flame on her calendar today. So, and then you want to string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can for best results. And then planned or unplanned, a holiday is going to come. After a holiday, though, we got to get right back on plan. And I saw somebody on Facebook that said, every time I use a holiday, I can't ever get back on track. Emily, I do understand that. I do totally understand that. What we've got to do on those days is make our favorite Shibboleth foods. The things that you just like more than anything that Shibboleth approved, and just enjoy looking forward to that. We've also got to make ourselves do it. There is a component of making yourself do something. So for example, we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth. We might not be super excited about brushing our teeth. We might not be super excited about putting on our deodorant. but we do those things. We do those things because we know they're important. And this is what we do. We do this to manage our life. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your results in weight loss mode, but then you are going to manage your life, living this lifestyle. Okay, so how do you have a perfect day? There's 5 components to the Shibboleth shield. 1 is water, 2 is journal, 3 is combinations, 4 is portions, and 5 is timing. Okay, so water, journal, combinations, portions, and timing. Now, I personally call these the 5 daily disciplines. In my world, I like to exercise my self-discipline muscle. I was not exercising my self-discipline muscle before Shibboleth, but now I am, and I utilize these 5 daily disciplines to help me do that. We're going to go over each one individually. Component number 1 of the shield is to drink at least a half a gallon of water every single day. Now that's 64 ounces. If you, we like for you to shoot for a gallon. Okay, so if you can shoot for that gallon, please do. A gallon is 128 ounces. Now what that looks like just in water bottles is this. This would be 4. 4 of these would be your minimum. 8 would be a really great number to shoot for. And one reason that's very important to try to get those 8 in is this. When you are getting your water in, your body is more mentally and physically satisfied, okay? And you will think a lot less about it. Let's say Annette Roberts, if you don't like water, you need to work on getting used to liking it. You could add maybe some lemon juice to it, but adding those little packets of flavoring to it, does not count as your water. Okay, so you want to at least get in 4 bottles of it, Annette. Maybe get in the minimum. Okay, but you for sure want to get in your minimum. Maybe you add lime juice or lemon juice, that would work, but adding other packets necessarily won't. Okay, Melissa, does 0-calorie sparkling water count towards your water intake? It does not. You can have that, but it does not count towards your water intake. Yeah, yep. Okay, so oh, Rebecca says that she didn't love water either, but drinking the alkaline water made a difference for her. So maybe you want to try alkaline water, Annette. Yeah, alkaline water is very, very good for you. Getting our body into a state of alkalinity is much healthier. When your body is in an acidic state, it will harbor disease. Hint water, Gabe, I don't know what hint water is. Maybe you can tell me and I can look it up or something. But okay, but as for water, a dehydrated body will not efficiently give up fat or waste. It won't efficiently give up fat or waste, and we need our body to be doing both of those things. So water in, poop out. I know that sounds gross. Water in, fat out. So we got to get our water in. It's very, very important. Okay, Rebecca asked if unsweet tea or coffee count, not towards your water intake. You can drink them, but it doesn't count towards your water intake. And then Stephanie, why do the 0 powders not count? So Stephanie, Travis just wants us to drink regular, clean, clear water. So for example, he likes to give this this imagery. So let's say you're going to take a shower. We don't shower in water that has been packet it up with something. We shower in nice, clean, clear water, and our intestines and our organs are very, very important on the inside of our body. So we should be treating them just as we would, showering. So they just don't. Stephanie. Now you can add them to it. I would say you can add it to it after 64 ounces, but you want 64 ounces of clean, clear water. Gabe, oh, slightly flavored. So for example, you could put in maybe some cucumber or slightly flavor it with that. And Monica's saying that she thinks hint has flavorings. Well, we'd have to look at some of these things and let y'all know. Judith says hint water is flavored water with 0 calories. It's on the approved list, but not sure about replacing plain water. And then Judith is also asking, how do we register for tomorrow night's session? You go into the pink online webinars link in your myshiboleth.com account and go under Kim's events and you'll register there. Now, Heather, I do have to say this. Heather's asking, what about eating ice? Well, eating ice is eventually going to hurt your teeth. And and you also might want to get your iron checked. I was an ice eater, a major ice eater. And then I had a full hysterectomy and I never have eaten ice again. So that you might want to have I quit eating it again. I thought that would last forever because I really thought that I had turned that into a habit, but it just ended. I didn't have any desire to eat ice. So Heather, you might want to talk to your doctor about that. Sorry, I'm giving other advice here. And Judith, I make myself drink a bottle of water on to work and then the way home. And then I know I only have 2 more bottles for my minimum. Yes, that's a good way to look at it. Matthew Hopper, I think the 0-calorie flavored water still leaves your brain craving sweets or sugar. I think the intention is to retrain the body away from sweets, hence plain water. That's a good thought. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. So one of the things that's going to happen in this very first week is you are going to be normalizing your hydration levels. Now, where our body is currently holding on to some water that it might think it needs, but water takes up space and it also weighs something. But even though it might seem counterintuitive, but even though you're going to be drinking all this water, it's going to be helping flush out water and keep it moving through your body on a regular basis. So this week, you're going to have a lot of great normalizing your water, your hydration levels. Okay, component number 2 of the Shibboleth Shield is to journal. This is huge in the area of behavior modification. I know I needed to modify my behavior. So what do? You write down what you're doing so that you can assess it, so that you can know what you're doing. You can be aware of it. So we're going to journal what we eat daily. Okay, so if you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. Okay. And we're going to write down absolutely everything. So you are now a citizen of planet Shibboleth, and there are no idle bites on planet Shibboleth. If you lick the dust off of a Dorito, it is a holiday, first of all, and you need to write it down. I licked Dorito dust. Okay, so we are writing down everything. Our journal is absolutely fabulous in the website for you to do that. So you can just put it all in there and it's really, really great. Monica says, all this water talk's making me thirsty. I know I've got this one last one for today. Okay, so Roseanne's asking if there's an app. There is an app. I want to explain the app to you though. The website is the rock star. The website is absolutely amazing. And there's more information in the journal for you to fill out on the website, but the app, it has the 4 most visited areas of our website when you're out and about. So it's got a quick and easy journal in there. You've got your food library, your recipe library, and your restaurant guide all in the app. But all the other super cool tools are in the website. Apps are expensive to maintain, and our website is just unbelievably phenomenal with so many tools and resources. So that there is an app and you can do that. Now, Roseanne, you can also use pen and paper. Now, do we like for you to do it in the app on the website? Yes, because if you want to have a mentor appointment and you want us to review your journal, you can click journal review. A mentor will have a look at that. They'll give you some feedback. The app does sync to the website. So everything that you put into the app syncs to the website, and what you put in the website syncs to the app. So yes, and you can take quick and easy pictures on there. So there's benefits really to using both. What I like to do is I like to save the shortcuts to the actual website on my home screen on my phone, and I can still do everything that I want to from my phone but it's through the website rather than the app. I've just found I prefer the website to the app. I also want you to know that you are not learning the lifestyle through the app. So don't count on the app for that. The app is just for you to look up restaurant stuff, food library stuff, recipe stuff when you're out and about with friends or in the grocery store or in a restaurant. But even those shortcuts, I saved those shortcuts from the website to my phone as well, and I pulled them all together in a little folder called Shibboleth. That way, if I just want to go to the food library, I click on that and I'm at the food library. Yay, awesome. Okay, component number 3 of the Shibboleth shield, and this is secret alert right here. So you know how we say Shibboleth? Shh, it's a secret. This is secret alert. Okay, combining foods in a way that controls insulin is very, very important. I got a cough. Excuse me, maybe it would be a good idea to drink my water now. So combinations is huge. And every once in a while, I would hear something about combinations and before Shibboleth, and I thought, man, that's complicated. It's not. It's really not complicated. And we're all about helping you figure out what you like to eat. We're not about making anybody eat any food they don't like. So if you're ever listening to videos and we're doing some meal planning, things like that, and you hear foods that you don't like, mark them off the list. You don't have to eat them. There's plenty of things to eat. Okay, so we're going to eat properly combined meals. Eat in a way that controls insulin, which is also known as the fat bus. We call insulin the fat bus because insulin goes around and picks up fat if insulin and fat are in your body at the same time. So that's why we eat in a way that controls insulin. We're going to talk more about that on one slide tonight, but the full hour tomorrow night is on what kind of foods can go together, because those are the things that you want to start familiarizing yourself with. You've got to author your own meal plan, because if you ask for my meal plan, I mean, I'll show it to you what I ate for my first 20 days while I was learning the lifestyle. I'll show it to you, and you might like some of the stuff on there, but you might not like all of it. And I wouldn't want Travis's meal plan. Travis is our founder. He eats a lot of shellfish and other things, and I don't like that. I wouldn't go well with his. So this is an education that is going to teach you how to author your own based on your own likes and your family's likes. So y'all can do this together. So properly combined meals keep away the fat bus. Okay. Portions is component number 4. You automatically know that if you want to lose weight, you got to eat less. I mean, that's the number one thing that most people think about. But we supercharge our results by combining the foods in a way that control insulin. Let's see. Michelle says, okay, Michelle, it'll help you. This will help you. Yeah. So Michelle, this will help diabetics. In fact, it helps pretty quickly, and you're going to want to make sure that you have some regular doctor visits, okay, with that, so that you don't overdo things, okay? So it will help. In fact, many, many doctors send their pre-diabetic patients to us to help. So it should help you. Okay, so component number 4 of the shield is portion control. So Roseanne is asking if there's a calorie count with this. There's not. There's not. You're welcome, Michelle. There's not a calorie count. Now, will you hear us talk about calories over every so often? Yeah, I'm about to mention some right now. But it's not like this is a calorie counting lifestyle. Hallelujah. Because I do not want to do all of that. I just want, this is the easiest thing in the whole wide world. I put foods on my plate combined in a way that control insulin, and I make sure I eat the right portion, and that's it. Now, over time, as you are continuing to learn things in the lifestyle, will you learn about calories, and will somebody mention calories, and will Travis talk about calories? Yeah, but it's not a focus. It's not a focus. We do it to kind of help people hone in on something or dial in what they're trying to do. So, but and every once in a while you'll hear it, but it's not a focus. All right, we're going to eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. No matter what size plate that you have, you're going to use the 2-hand rule. So a 6 to 8 inch plate, it wouldn't mean that at the 2-inch rim around the edge. And when you go to a restaurant and they serve all of this food on a massively huge plate, you know, you're going to use the 2-hand rule. The 2-hand rule trumps whatever size plate you have. So the 2-hand rule is simply this. We carry our measuring tools with us everywhere we go. You're going to take your hands and you're going to put your fingers together as close as possible. You're going to move your thumbs out of the way, and you're going to put your hands together as close as possible. And then you're just going to lower your hands down over your food and you're going to look. If you can't see your food sticking out from underneath your hands, you've portion controlled. Okay, that's about the size of our stomach. And, we've kind of been stretching our stomach out and things, overeating. So that's going to help us get that portion control back into that daily discipline. We're going to get that back under control. You also really don't want it to be thicker than the thickest part of your hand. But you have to think about, like, let's say you go to the store. I mean, you make yourself a filet mignon or you order a filet mignon, and you know how they're tall sometimes. They're tall but small. Well, you'd have to know, well, if I cut that in half, visually, it would still fit. But you got to use common sense on that. But what it is we don't really want to stack up our Thanksgiving plate and cover our hands and go, I can't see it. I've even had neighbors send me pictures like this. I can't see my food. I'm using the 2-hand rule. No, you just put your 2 hands down over your food. And if you can't see your food sticking out, you've portion controlled. See how much easier that is than counting calories? Yes, it really is. 2-hand rule, 2-hand rule. I love it. Okay, so there's 5 components that we're going to talk about, but these first four that we've gone over, these are the ones that you have to meet in order to say that you've had a perfect day. So you got to get your water in, journal your foods, eat in a way that controls insulin with the combinations, and portion control. Those 4 have to be met in order to say that you've had a perfect day. The 5th one, which is timing, it's there for optimization purposes. Over the course of time that you're with Shibboleth, you're going to learn about some intermittent fasting, and you'll be able to apply that in the future. If you already know about it, you can apply it now, but don't worry about it if you don't. But timing is there for optimization. So we all live a different lifestyle. Some of us have kids. Some of us have kids at home. Some of us don't. Some of us work different schedules, first shift, second shift, third shift. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on with people's schedules. So this timing, we can't really say that you have to meet it exactly. So we give you the ways to optimize it. So we do not want to eat more than 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day. Breakfast for the Father, lunch for the Son, and dinner for the Holy Spirit. We sit down, we commune with the Lord. Thank you for this food. Thank you that I now have this lifestyle that's going to help me live a more balanced life. And we're going to do 3 meals a day. And that's really what you should strive for, is about 3 meals a day. And that these meals should be 4 to 6 hours apart. So you may have heard that eating 5, 6 small meals a day is good. Well, it's not. We are grazing, and grazing is hurting our metabolism. Okay, so if you have, and it's hurting our digestive system. So our digestive system is a machine. Okay, so if you have a machine that never gets a break, the machine never gets a break, it's eventually going to break down. And if you think about all the commercials that you see on television, and the conversations that you hear and the posts that you see, there's a lot of digestive issues out there right now. And it's because we are constantly overworking our digestive system. So we want to have 3 meals a day. It's plenty. We are not going to go hungry. We are not going to go hungry on 3 meals a day. Might you experience some tummy growls? You might, but we'll get used to that. And eventually that'll go away. Okay. But 4 to 6 hours apart will give you the opportunity to give your meal some space to start digesting, because it takes about 36 hours for a meal to completely digest. And we're just piling in more food and then eating again and piling in more food. Also, if you are constantly eating between meals, it will slow down your EFB a little bit, because your body is going to go, okay, well, now I got to digest. All right. It's still going to be an EFB. Okay. But it just slows it down a little bit. So up to 3 meals a day, 4 to 6 hours apart. And if you have what we call in moments of mental weakness, if you have a moment of mental weakness, then you can utilize things that we call freebies, an extra, or a snack, and a snack. So freebies are actually unlimited. You could eat as many of those as you wanted to. You could do up to one extra in a day. An extra is just something small, something real small, like some sugar-free Jello, or something like that, or maybe a um, Choco Right chocolate patty or something like that, and a snack. You could do one snack a day. So if you did that, if you had breakfast and then maybe you had an extra, then you had lunch, and then you had a snack, and then you had dinner, and then you had freebies. That kind of looks like not giving yourself 4 to 6 hours between meals, right? That actually looks like grazing. And look at this last bullet point here. Keep in mind that we're trying to stop grazing. Grazing is hurting our metabolism, not helping it. Okay, grazing was meant for cows who were designed to graze. We are not cows. We were not designed to graze like that. So I got a couple of questions I'm going to answer. Carol, no. And you can't use your friend's hands either. Carol said, can you use your husband's hands, with a smiley face? I know she's joking, but we laugh about that. That does give the opportunity for a man to have more food. If his hands are bigger, to make up for him being a man and might need more food. Okay. So it's funny. And then I was with my sister-in-law, my stepsister, and she was using her husband's hands and we were joking. And then her steak that was delivered at this restaurant was so big, we used her hands and my hands and we're laughing about it and having fun. Heather says, I logged my breakfast on the app and a countdown started. It said 12 hours into your next meal. It freaked me out because I could not make it 12 hours. Heather, I would go into my profile and take off that you want to use the countdown. Just take that off for now. You can use a countdown on your phone or something like that. I would go into my profile and take that back off because you have the ability to edit that. I don't do that. Karen is asking, is intermittent fasting good? Yes, it is. And Nancy says, what if you have a tendency to have low blood sugar after 3 hours? There are things in here in the food library called low blood sugar options. Yes, Nancy, there are some low blood sugar options in there. And maybe you eat breakfast and then maybe you have lunch, 4 hours, maybe you can make it 4 hours. I don't know. But there are some, we call it the infirmary, infirmary and low blood sugar things. There are those options in the food library, Nancy, for you. Yes, yes. And Emily says, can you add freebies to meals? I would not. Like for lunch, I plan to eat a turkey tortilla so I can add lettuce and then pickles for free. Well, yeah, you can. But see, here's the thing, Emily. You don't want to think about them like that as freebies. Okay. Don't think about them as freebies in that way. Freebies are when you are eating them in a moment of mental weakness outside of an eating episode. Okay. So, Emily, if you're having a turkey tortilla, lettuce is a category 2. And pickles are a category, dill pickles, not the sweet pickles. They are a category 2. So I would just call them a category 2. So this is a great question. And I'm glad you asked that because it really depends on how you're choosing to eat that. If that's with a meal, you call it the category that it's in, Emily, and eat it that way. But if you were eating it just for a moment of mental weakness to get you through and continue to have a perfect day, then you call it a freebie at that point. All right, let's see. Alma asked about coffee and creamer. If you're a coffee drinker, you can use any coffee creamer that has 15 calories or less in it. And there is a link to coffee creamers in the food library. Heather, I'm not going to cover perfect pairing items tonight. If you go into the video library, Heather, and in the search bar for the video library, you can search for perfect pairings. I would go over it, but I don't have time. Yeah. And Heather, perfect pairings are those things that have been determined will work by the team, but don't necessarily follow all the rules. So since this is a new member thing, I don't really want to go over that tonight and I don't have time. But if you'll go into the video library and search for that, you can watch some videos on it. Will that be with a meal like breakfast? Coffee? Is that what you're asking about? You can have coffee. You can have coffee as anytime you want to. You're welcome, Emily and Heather. Is it okay to have meal replacements for more than one meal a day? Yes, I eat a lot of meal replacements because I like them. And Michelle says, I use spinach in my turkey wraps. Is that also a category 2? Yes, it is. So yeah, there's a lot of awesome things that are happening on here. Yeah, they are, Heather. They are. Okay, so just keep in mind that we're trying to stop grazing. But I also want to point out that in a perfect Shibboleth day, there's good, better, and best. All right. So let's say that you have 3 meals a day. You have freebies, you have an extra, and you have a snack, but they're all portion controlled, no more than what was allowed, and they're all approved items. Well, that's still a perfect day. It was a good, perfect day. So maybe you have 3 meals and then you just have a couple of freebies. That might be a better Shibboleth day, perfect day. But then maybe you just have 3 meals. That might be the best perfect Shibboleth day. So see, not every single day is going to be exactly the same. We don't have exactly the same day now, what we're doing now. So just know that there's good, better, and best. You just don't want to go over these, and obviously less is best. So I hope that was easy to understand. And that's why it's like a lifestyle, because we get to do this together and we have fun kind of challenging each other to do these daily disciplines and live in this. And we get all these kind of ideas from other people as well. All right. So we're going back now to component number 3 of the Shibboleth Shield, which is eating in a way that controls insulin. It's all about combinations. So the question is, how do I put together a properly combined meal? Well, you got to learn that there are 7 categories of food. There's 7 categories of food. Oh, I forgot to mention the calories on that last. I was going to talk about calories on the slide that was about the portions. There's 3,500. If you're taking notes, this is a good thing to write down. There's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So in order to get rid of 1 pound of fat, we've got to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. Now, even though we don't focus on calories, our portion control and our eating in the right combinations all work together to help us accomplish that. So we want to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of fat in order to, and I did the math, I had overeaten this last time I lost weight by 175,000 calories. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous that I didn't get burned off. Okay, but there are 7 categories of food, so y'all can write that down. Here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the category number. I'm gonna read out the name of the category, and then I'm gonna go over the abbreviation. So category 1 is a lean protein, LP. That's chicken breast, egg whites, and such. Category 2, fibrous carbs, FC. This is where you're going to find green beans, broccoli, things like that. But this is where you're also going to find over 60 approved bread or bread type items: tortillas, loaf bread, pita bread, lavash bread, just bran crisp bread, all kinds of stuff. And Carb Quick, which is a baking mix, is included in a category 2 fibrous carb, which is amazing. Category 3, energy carb, or EC. This is where corn is. This is where potatoes are. This is where lighter colored beans are. Category 4, protein plus fat, or PF. PF. Category 5, fruit, FR, also known as an antioxidant carb, or AC. So every once in a while on a document in the website or a PDF or something, you might see AC, or antioxidant carb. I just want you to know that's fruit. That's why I have both of them there, so you'll know. Category 6, superfood, or SF. And category 7, shellfish, SHF. Okay, which is really just a lean protein. So there's 7 categories of food. All foods make their way into the different categories based on their nutritional makeup and how they respond in our body. So this is really a science lesson coming up right now. So there are 7 categories of food. In category 1, which is a bookend on this end, and a category 7, which is a bookend on this end, are both lean proteins. Shellfish, shrimp, lobster, things like that. Oh, I forgot to say superfood. avocado, your darker colored beans, your nut butters, your nuts and seeds and things like that are the superfood. Your category 7 shellfish and category 1 lean protein are both just lean proteins. Shellfish got pulled off of the lean protein category because due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people don't want to eat shellfish. So if you don't even eat shellfish, you don't have to worry about any combinations that have a category 7 in them. You just don't have to worry about them. But out of these, this is important to write down, out of these 7 categories, 5 of them can be eaten alone. You don't even have to combine them together at all. You can eat them alone. So I see a question popped up. Let me see. Yeah, so Heather's asking what WLM means. That's the weight loss meter. So in the food library, some foods, they're in the food library, but they barely make it. They barely make it in. So we have a weight loss meter. So let's say that you go to, let's say you're looking at meal replacements, because Heather and I both like meal replacements. You look up a meal replacement. But you want to know the best meal replacements for weight loss. Well, there is a weight loss meter. It goes from -3 to +3. The -3 is the best for weight loss. +3 is not going to hurt you if you do it ever so often, but it's really kind of best kept for maintenance. But 0 is not going to help you, not going to hurt you. So negative numbers are better for weight loss. And she's also asking what EWI stands for. EWI is Egg Whites International. It's a brand of egg whites that Travis recommends. They have been triple tested for salmonella. And since that a lot of people eat those egg whites in their shakes and stuff, they want to make sure that they're super good. And that's the company that he highly, highly trusts. Yes. So weight loss meter is WLM and EWI is Egg Whites International. Rachel is asking, what is MCT oil? Rachel, I'm going to go over that on the next slide. Stephanie Nick says, is double fiber wheat bread and the Thomas muffins no longer on the plan? Well, the Thomas Light 100 calorie English muffins are a category 2 fibrous carb. So that's, you can use that. But Stephanie, Nature's Own quit making double fiber wheat bread. So it's not on anymore because Nature's Own quit making it. They have something called Keto Life that is their similar thing. But there's a lot of other brands like Healthy Life Bread works. I like the Sara Lee 45 calorie multigrain. It's really good. Heather says, when you make an approved recipe from the website, how do you log it? So the categories are in the recipe, so I would just put those categories. So, you know, they're already listed there for you, so I would just put those. Yep, you're welcome, Stephanie. And Lisa, what is a good meal replacement shake? Our most highly recommended meal replacement shake is from Beverly International. It is called UMP. And we've never had anybody say they didn't like the taste of it, and it has all of the essential and non-essential amino acids in it, whereas most shakes just have all the essential amino acids. And one of the most important things that we can do is we can protect our muscles. This is called ultimate muscle protein. We also call it the ultimate muscle protector. So the Beverly Ump Shake is the best one. You're welcome, Heather. I love them. I love them. Don't mind a bit. Okay, so there's 5 of these that you can eat alone. So I'm going to tell you what those are. I want you to write them down. You can eat category 1, lean protein, by itself. You can eat category 2, fibrous carbs, by themselves. You can eat category 4, protein plus fat, by itself. You can eat category 6, superfood, by itself. And you can eat category 7, shellfish, by itself. So those 5 aren't going to bring an insulin release, therefore you can eat them by themselves. It's the category 3 and the category 5 that are going to bring more of an insulin release. So therefore, you've got to be careful with those. So this is where we're going to talk a little bit of science right now, which I find absolutely amazing. Judith Lee, there are some of those in the category, in the food library. So what you want to do is you want to look up those particular brands in the search feature in the food library and see which ones. But I've seen them both in there. I haven't specifically looked for the Arbonne before, but I've seen Shakeology in there. Monica says, I thought gluten brought an insulin release when it turns to glucose in the body. Well, you're above my pay grade right there. So we'll have to just maybe answer that question later. And I'm going to go through what I'm doing right now. Okay, so Heather Lewis says that she uses Arbonne and it's in there and she loves their pea protein. Okay. All right. So let's have a look here because what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you things in two different ways. I'm going to teach you what you must eat together and then on a different one, what you avoid with it. So let's look at the energy carbs and fruit. If you want to eat energy carbs or you want to eat fruit, they must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So I'm gonna make a little meal real quick and I'm gonna use my two hands, okay? So I got my two hands. I'm gonna do them like this so I can see myself better, but y'all know what I'm doing. So let's say that I want to have some lima beans. Roseanne, the Built Bars, I would just have to look them up, but I think I've seen them in there. Let's say that I want some lima beans. Well, I personally would have found out that lima beans are a category 3 because in part of the fast track laps, I'm writing down my favorite foods and I'm looking them up in the food library to see which categories they fall in. So I'll know this information about my likes. Okay. You're going to do that for your likes. So lima beans are a energy carb. So I'm going to have about 1/4 of a cup of lima beans. They're going to sit right there underneath my hand, my fingers. That's kind of like my judgment. Okay. So the lima beans are going to elevate your blood sugar. So the elevation. Oh, Monica, I'm back to your question all of a sudden. I'm sorry. You might be asking that because I was talking about those breads earlier. Maybe that's why you're asking. The breads that we choose have enough fiber in them per the calories in them to work out. But I still would like to look up your answer later, but maybe that's why you're asking that. So the lima beans are going to elevate your blood sugar. Well, your pancreas is going to secrete some insulin to deal with that blood sugar, okay? But at 1/4 of a cup of lima beans, you didn't overeat lima beans, okay? So your pancreas didn't have to secrete lots and lots of insulin. And so therefore, you've got a little bit of insulin in your system. But see, we eat in a way that controls insulin. So knowing that you're going to want an energy carb, you must eat a lean protein that can come from your category 1 or your category 7. Either one of those are lean proteins. So let's just say chicken breast to keep it simple. This is where your chicken breast is going to go. And you must eat it with a fibrous carb as well. So let's just use green beans to keep it simple. Green beans here. So what's happening is your blood sugar elevated, your pancreas secreted a little bit of insulin. We know we've got to deal with that insulin because we eat in a way that controls insulin because insulin is the fat bus. And if we eat fat later in the day, we don't want it collecting it. We want to deal with that insulin now within the confines of this meal. Well, the protein in the chicken breast and the fiber in the green beans are going to help neutralize the insulin release that came from the lima beans that you ate. It's science. It's totally scientific. And you had a properly combined meal. And it was a great meal. You portion controlled it and you're good to go. That was a great meal. Same thing with fruit. Let's say that you want to have, maybe I'm just going to use berries. Let's say you want to have a cup of berries or half a cup of berries in the morning. Half a cup would be better. Half a cup of berries in the morning. Well, even though berries are low glycemic and they are the best for weight loss, they still elevate your blood sugar a little bit. Same process. Your pancreas is going to increase, secrete a little insulin. But now that you're learning this information, you know, I want to eat some fruit. I must combine it with with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So maybe you make yourself an egg white spinach omelet. The protein in the egg whites and the fiber in the spinach are going to help neutralize the insulin release from the berries or whatever fruit you chose to eat. And that is going to deal with the insulin all within that particular meal, which is great. So there's a lot of people out there right now doing this little Greek plain yogurt thing with some hemp flakes, which we'll talk about hemp flakes tomorrow, and berries on it. That works. So there's all kinds of things that will work. It's just that you, over the course of this week, need to be figuring out your favorite foods, what categories they come in. And there's a worksheet that it's at the bottom of lap 3 that I want you to print out, and you're going to use that to start making your favorites list and then start putting together some meals at the bottom of that you would like to eat. Yes, Monica, the science behind this just blew my mind. It did. I was like, what? And you're just going to learn even more and more and more of it. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so now I've taught you the 2 categories that you must eat with other things. But there's one category on here that you don't want to eat with certain things. So that's your protein plus fat category. So you've got a good protein. It's just got some natural, good, hopefully good fats in it. Okay, protein plus fat. You can eat that by itself though. So for example, let's just say you want to make yourself some scrambled eggs in the morning. You can just have some scrambled eggs. It's good to go. So we can eat those scrambled eggs, but what you're not going to eat with these protein plus fats is you're not going to eat your energy carbs, your fruit, or your superfoods with a protein plus fat. Here's the line. You just don't eat energy producing carbs with fat. Not energy, insulin. Sorry, insulin. You don't eat insulin producing carbs with fat. And energy carbs produce insulin release. The fruit produces an insulin release. And depending on the superfood, but we just are going to say all of it, it's going to produce an insulin release depending on how much carbiness is in there. The superfood category is very large. And it varies greatly too. So let's talk about this. I like to use the example of a classic plate, the classic plate of a steak and a baked potato. So you're eating the steak, which is a great protein. It's got healthy fats in it. We're good to go. The problem comes in eating it with the baked potato. So the baked potato is going to bring an insulin release. Remember your baked potato is going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete the insulin. And insulin comes out to do a job. It comes out to do the job of decreasing your blood sugar. Okay. But when it's got fat in the system from that steak, it says, woohoo, yeah, baby, let me go out and pick that fat up and I'm going to store it. I'm going to take it back to the storage facility right here. Butt and gut. And we do not want that being stored. Okay. Now, can you still have a baked potato and a steak on the planet Shibboleth? You can. It's just called a holiday because that's not a proper combination. But it's called a holiday and you can still have it up to 6 days a month. So, see, nobody takes anything away from you in Shibboleth. We just teach you how to eat in a way that makes your life work for you instead of against you. But if you go to a restaurant or a home, and you're making a steak and you don't want to have a holiday, order that with a broccoli, green beans, a side salad. There's nothing in that I just said to bring an insulin release. Therefore, that fat's just going to get used up as energy and it's not going to be collected. All right. So if you wrote that down, we don't eat category 4s with energy carbs, which are category 3s, fruit, which are category 5s, or 6, which is category superfoods. Okay, let's see. I got some questions here. Okay, let's see. Jennifer says, would you repeat what you just said about what we cannot combine? Okay, yes. With a category 4, you just don't eat that with an energy carb, which is your 3, your fruit, which is a 5, or your superfoods, which are 6s. Okay, Nancy says, it looks like we are really eating low carbs most of the time. It is lower carbs, but we don't eliminate carbs. I don't know about it putting you into ketosis. I doubt it. I haven't been in ketosis once, and I've been living Shibboleth April since 2019. Yes, you are getting enough carbs to maintain an energy level. You are. Now, it also depends on what you want to eat. You can eat the carbs, you just need to combine them properly. Michelle says, I eat sweet potatoes instead of white. Where do they fall? All potatoes fall in your energy carb category. Heather says, this is such good and interesting stuff. I may never look at food the same again. I don't. I know I don't. Even on holidays, sometimes I'm like, nah, I still can't just do that. I mean, I already know that information now. I can't even just do it. I'm not. Now, eating sweets, I can. Monica, so we wouldn't put butter on the potato. No, no, not on a perfect day. Now, if you want to use, there's no, I wouldn't use that either. There is a little butter. It's a spray butter called, I can't believe it's not butter. There's also Brummel and Brown yogurt butter that you can use up to 50 calories worth as a condiment on anything. Okay. And we're going to be talking about condiments tomorrow night. And awesome, Melissa. I'm so glad to see that. She says it makes so much sense now. I mean, it really is just science, and that we figure out the foods that we like and we start putting them together. Stephanie says this is more of a high fiber diet, right? Well, we want to make sure that we get good fiber. Really, what we're doing is we want to make sure we get enough protein in. We want to do enough protein. We want to do, we're doing a little bit lower fat. I mean, it's not a high fat diet at all. And then if we're going to eat a fibrous carb, it's a bread, we got to make sure it's enough fiber in it. So honestly, this is just to me, this is the way that eating should be. This is normal. I have a hard time naming it. Okay. So let's see. We need protein to build muscle and fiber to balance insulin. That's right. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to recap that last sheet, but remember, you've got to come back for tomorrow night's webinar because it's all on different foods that are in the different categories and how you put them together. Okay. You're right, Matthew. This is the way. And Heather, where would I find approved shake brands in the library? So you can go into the food library and in the search bar, just type in the word shake. We have tagged all the shakes with the tag of shake. So just go in there and put in shake. And then Roseanne says, what's the recommended fiber to look for in bread choices? Well, honestly, what I would do, Roseanne, is I would go into the food library and I would click on the title of breads. There's a link for just breads. Then I would use my weight loss meter and I would bring that down to negative numbers and I would start looking at them. Personally, I am never going to eat another category 3 bread again. We have approved category 3 breads, but I don't need them, so I'm not going to eat those anymore. But if you're really wanting to know the exact amount, you want to make sure that you have at least 1 gram of fiber for every 10 calories in the bread. But I don't like to talk about all that tonight because it confuses people. And I just really want, and you can get it later on. It's just there's a lot of information coming tonight. And we just like for you, and that's what I did. I just used the food library in the beginning to find all the ones I liked. Judith, you're getting 0 results when you doing shake. Okay. Yeah, Monica, that was a good point. If you're really, really new, you can't access the full food library yet. Once you finish the fast track, the entire website opens up to you. So there's your incentive to do the fast track. We want to make sure that we get the fast track done. And Judith, let's see. So that might be helping. Judith's been a member since 2012. Well, guess what I'm going to do real quick? I am going to pop over there. And Heather says she loves the peanut butter toast and the 45-calorie bread. Okay, Judith, I'm going to show you in the end when I get off of this, okay? I'll show you that. Remind me in the end. So this is a recap of our most important food rules. Now, we haven't talked about MCT yet. It's on the next slide. But your category 1, your lean protein with a fibrous carb cooked up in MCT oil, or category 7, which is a lean protein, just a shellfish with a fibrous carb cooked up in MCT oil, are the fastest fat burning combinations. And these are really good to start with. If you want to eat a category 3 energy carb or a category 5 fruit, you must eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And then just remember not to eat your category 4s, which are your proteins plus fat, with your energy carbs, your fruit, or your superfoods. And then all meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4. Here's why. When you're eating at a restaurant, they are not cooking in a Shibboleth approved oil. So if they take a piece of chicken breast and they cook it up in an unapproved oil, they've basically turned that chicken breast into a protein plus fat. So you just want to consider all meat at a restaurant a category 4 because they're not cooking in a Shibboleth approved oils. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Jamie, you just want to go through those things because it's very important. We added the fast track this year to make sure that people weren't missing anything because, we're very, very into this. And so we're into it all the time, but sometimes people are missing things. So if you work through the fast track, you can do that. Jamie, there is a way to skip all of that. It does say, hey, you're not really doing this the way we recommend. But you can skip that and then also get back to the fast track. You just definitely want to work your way through all of that so that you can get your badge and make sure that you aren't missing anything. If you miss something, it might be that one thing that was like an aha moment for you. So you definitely want to do that. And Ann Winters, is a Mighty Muffin made into a waffle okay for breakfast? Yes. Okay. Approved cooking oils. Now, this is where we're going to talk about medium chain triglycerides. This is another secret alert right here. Our number one recommended cooking oil is MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride, and 100% medium chain triglyceride. So a medium chain triglyceride has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat, whereas the long chain triglycerides, which is canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, they have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Well, if we're trying to access and burn stored energy, which is the fat that's on us, we already have some. We don't need to be taking more fat into our body that has a great propensity to be stored. See, the thing is about those long chain triglycerides, they're a longer fat lipid, so it takes longer to burn them up. They're also very dense. So again, it takes it longer to burn up. So medium chain triglyceride is what we want to use. So Heather says that she can't find it. So it can be found. It's just kind of hard. But if you want to buy it from our store, you can do that. I highly recommend that you buy it from our store. That was actually one of the things I was going to say on this slide, because the ones that we purchase, and the brand in our store is called Zero Drag. Zero Drag. So the oil that we have in our store has been optimized for cooking. Up to 1 tablespoon is your amount that you could use on a medium chain triglyceride. Ours has 100 calories per serving, whereas every other MCT oil that I've looked at for the 1 tablespoon has 130 calories per serving. Well, I don't want a random extra 30 calories personally, so I'm going to do the Zero Drag brand. So you can buy it from our store if you wanted to, but Travis also recommends the Now brand, and he just buys that on Amazon. Anything that you're going to buy on Amazon, though, access it through our food library, and it'll give Shibboleth a little kickback for the ministry, okay? All right, let's see. But Heather, I know people have found it at grocery stores and Walmart. And Judith says she purchased it from the Shibboleth store. Yeah, it's not a problem, Matthew. You can do that. And he also found it at Better Body Foods Organic and the coconut MCT oil at Walmart, but that's not 100%. Okay, that's not 100% MCT oil. Roseanne says MCT oil is everywhere now. It really seems like it. Awesome. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. Okay, so medium chain triglyceride. Here's a couple of things about it. You want to make sure that you cook on low to medium heat, though, because it will set off your smoke detector, because it does burn up so quickly that it will set off your smoke detector. Now, medium chain triglycerides are, being touted as really great things. There's a lot of noise out there right now about medium chain triglycerides. Well, one of the things that you're going to learn in Shibboleth is that how to eat in all these different situations and whatever kind of nutritional situation you are in at the time. So the nutritional situation we're in is we're wanting to lose body fat. So we don't want to use MCT oil in an inappropriate way. So we use MCT oil for three reasons. Three reasons. Cooking in a pot or a pan if you need some oil. A recipe if it calls for an oil. Or a salad dressing. There's salad dressing recipes in the recipe library. Those are the three reasons. So, and the reason I tell you this is I never want you to feel like you need to get it in, because you're hearing a lot of great things about MCT oil. It's got some thermogenic properties, it's got some muscle preserving properties and some metabolism building properties, but we never want to take in random extra calories for no reason. So if you're using it for the three purposes that I mentioned, you can, but you never need to feel like you need to get it in as a supplement. You also do not want to put it in shakes or make bulletproof coffee with it. Coffee is a pre-digested drink. There is nothing in there to slow down any fat, even if it's a healthy fat. So we're not going to use MCT oil for any of those other reasons, just those three reasons. And if you don't need to use it, then don't worry about it. Coconut oil is our second approved oil. It's 66% MCTs, but it's not 100. When you are purchasing MCT oil, make sure you look where at the ingredients list and it says 100% medium chain triglycerides. Sometimes they package things and say, oh, from coconut oil, like it's 100%, but it's not. Really, you're probably just buying some little bit higher priced coconut oil when you do that. So just make sure that. But you can use coconut oil. You can also use ghee butter. Ghee butter, which is spelled Ghee, and the reason I separate that is because there's a meal replacement called ghee butter that is not, we're going to use that for a cooking oil, but ghee butter, it's clarified butter. It's just butter. It's just been clarified. There's 40 to 45% MCTs in that. I use this when you need that butter flavor on a meal. That's when I use that. You can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. Now, why would I choose to use anything that has calories like the MCT oil versus a 0-calorie cooking spray? Well, those same properties that I mentioned earlier are good for you. We just don't want to overdo it. So medium chain triglycerides have that metabolism building effect. So it's thermogenic. It's going to help you burn a few extra calories on those meals that it goes with. And it's got a muscle preserving effect, and we're really into preserving our muscles. Now, this is the way I do it. If I am cooking a category 1 lean protein or a category 7 shellfish, which is a lean protein, then I'll use a medium chain triglyceride with it. But if I'm cooking a protein plus fat, I don't, because it's already got fats in it and I don't need to add extra fats. I use the 0-calorie cooking spray in that case. So let me just use egg whites, for example. If I'm cooking egg whites, I use MCT oil. If I'm using whole eggs, I'm cooking whole eggs, I use 0-calorie cooking spray. Let's see. Can you still put in coffee for bullet coffee? That's funny. Rachel, Sprouts carries MCT 0-calorie coconut spray as well. Awesome. Awesome. Melissa says, can I have a can of olive oil 0-calorie spray? That's fine. Any 0-calorie spray, no matter what it's called, MCT oil, olive oil, anything, it still works. Any 0-calorie works. Thank y'all for hanging in with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Normally I go until 9, but y'all have been so much fun and have had so many awesome questions. So that's why it's going a little bit longer. Y'all just hang on, okay? So, because we're wrapping up. We want to remain in EFB, which is efficient fat burning, as often as possible. We are striving for perfect days. We're striving for those perfect days. We want those perfect days. But planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. But now we have a plan to get back. And I'm so thankful after Thanksgiving and after Christmas and after New Year's, I had something to go back to. I enjoyed those holidays. I did, but I had a plan. I knew what to get back to now. And I'm so thankful for that. After a holiday, It takes 2 perfect Shibboleth days to get your body back into EFB. What's happening during those 2 perfect days is your body's getting rid of any insulin that's hanging out in there. It's also getting rid of any glycogen, which is sugars, that are hanging out in your muscles and in your liver. Because all that, after it's gone, your body is then going to still need energy. It's going to access that stored energy that's on your body for its energy. So when our body is in EFB, our body is going to burn stored energy, which is fat, for the energy that it needs, rather than easily accessible oils or unapproved oils and starchy and sugary carbs. Our body will take the path of least resistance. If it needs energy, if it's got easy energy in our body, it's going to access the easy energy. But if it has no easy energy and it still needs energy, it's got to access the stored energy. It's a harder energy to get to. We're going to have a lot of calorie burn on that. It's going to be great. Okay, Judith, I see you. All right. So we're going to wrap up on the fat bus. The fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a hormone, a growth hormone that is a fat storage hormone. After an insulin release, fat storage will occur for up to 48 hours, hence the 2 days to get back into EFB after a holiday. Insulin also increases appetite. Has anybody ever had I ate some ice cream and then I wanted some chips. After I ate some chips, I wanted some chocolate. After I ate some chocolate, I wanted some popcorn. I mean, I know I have had that happen, and I'm sure that everybody else has too. Insulin will send your appetite off the charts. So this is why we want to control insulin in what we do. And just another little recap here. After the fat bus has been on its rounds, meaning insulin has been out, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB. That is where our journaling, what type of day we're having, comes in handy, because it shows up on your timing chart as an icon, and it will give you a good visual of where you are. Okay, I have 2 perfect days. I'm back in EFB. Then you string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can, and then planned or unplanned, a holiday's coming. Then you get back and have 2 perfect days, get back into EFB, string as many efficient fat burning days together as you can, and then planned or unplanned, a holiday's coming. Does this sound like just a cycle? It sounds like a cycle. It's also a plan, a good plan. Now you've got a plan. I didn't have a plan before. So what are you going to eat this week? You've learned a lot tonight, and I appreciate y'all hanging with me. I do want you to come back tomorrow night, because we're going to learn even more and talk about more foods that, and what they're called that go into these categories. But I really want you to make a list of your 7 favorite lean proteins from category 1 or category 7, and make a list of your 7 favorite fibrous carbs. And then, just like, let's say you're in elementary school and you had 2 little columns of things, and you needed to match up things that went together, you're just going to say, oh, chicken breast goes great with green beans. Oh, 96% lean ground meat goes great with a category 2 fibrous carb bun. Whatever works out in your favorite list. Okay. And then if you also cook some 1 and 2s when possible in MCT oil, you're going to have the fastest fat burning combination. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity. If you were eating Pop-Tarts and cereal now, you're going to need some meal replacements to fill in those voids, to make you not have to change too much stuff at one time. I ate a lot of meal replacements anyway, for simplicity. And then keep it super, super simple in the beginning. And then you will branch out, try recipes and other things as you learn the lifestyle. So that's what you're going to eat. One last slide. You got to take advantage of our awesome resources. Shibboleth is a ministry first and foremost. Travis would give this away, and I think he practically does, but he would give this away if he could, but we can't pay people and keep the lights on doing that. So make sure that you utilize our awesome resources, though. Get into the Facebook support groups. That's where members support members, okay? And then they're backed by the Shibboleth team. Familiarize yourself with our awesome website. Yes, it's going to take a minute for you to familiarize yourself with our awesome website. There's tons of little things there, and you'll find these great little nuggets all over the place in the website. But just take your time and get to know that. I do want you to schedule a getting started mentor appointment. But guess what? I want you to schedule it for next week. And you might be thinking, but I'm getting started this week. This week, I want you to attempt to self-direct your learning and work your way through the fast track laps. It's very important that you take ownership of what you're doing in this, because when you're taking ownership of what you're doing in this, it's going to stick. It's going to stick better. If you are counting on other people all the time, it's not going to stick. You're not going to know it to the point where it's part of you. You need this to become part of you and what you do. So the reason I say schedule that appointment for next week is, one, you already get it on your calendar. You know what's coming. Two, when you have that mentor appointment with your mentor next week and you've already done fast track, y'all are having a more intelligent conversation. She's not having to spend 20 minutes of the 30 minutes that y'all chat on the phone explaining the program to you. Y'all can talk about food. Y'all can talk about timing. Y'all can talk about portions. Y'all got other things to talk about. She's not having to explain the program to you. And then focus on the fast track this week by working through each of the fast track laps. I'm going to close out of this and pop into the website real quick. I want to show you where you can mark off that you have done this website. But welcome to the Shibboleth family. We're here for you and we love you. We care about you. We want to make sure that you do well and you succeed. So let's see. Got questions? I'm glad you were here too, Stephanie. That's awesome. Yes, yes. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that very, very much. Emily says, where are the daily doses videos on the website? Well, first of all, Emily, you want to make sure you do the fast track first. The second part of your education is daily doses, but I'll show you. And then Emily was explaining that to you, and you're welcome, Heather. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over to the Shibboleth website. And so to access your fast track, which is the first thing that you're going to do. You're welcome, Annette. You're welcome, Lisa. Okay, click on dashboard. Oh, by the way, y'all, this is me. This is me after I lost 50 pounds and I got back into my 11th grade prom dress. Yeah, I'm happy to be there. Okay, you click on fast track. And then where it says lap 1, this was kind of today's lap. And I hope that you did that lap today. But if you didn't, it's okay. Thank you, Brienne. You're welcome. You're welcome. I can't wait for you to get started too. Awesome. Awesome. So y'all want to work your way through these laps, okay? So when you hover or touch this little information eye right here, that black box pops up. And that black box is, I wrote that black box like it would be if you and I were talking together on the phone or in person. You're welcome, Susan. You are going to want to hover over that. Read the black box. The black box is going to tell you why I want you to do this task and how you're going to complete this task. Then you're going to come over here and you're going to click on this task. You're going to do it, and then you're going to come back and check that box, okay? You can work in and out of these laps however you choose. So you don't have to finish lap 1 before you go to lap 2 and so forth. But if you want your full website opened up to you, every box needs to be completed. But I don't recommend that you go in there checking like crazy, okay? There is a place in the food library that says that you can skip these, but don't check them because you won't know if you've done them or not. So if you are on tonight's webinar, then you've probably already registered for tonight and tomorrow night, okay? That's where you can just check off right there. This task was simply registering for the webinars. But by participating in tonight's webinar, you can go in right here and you can check that you have participated this webinar. If a person that you're talking to or somebody else needs to watch this webinar and they weren't here tonight live, if they click here, it will be on demand for them and they'll be able to watch that. And then tomorrow, after you participate in tomorrow nights, you'll be able to click right there. But this is that worksheet that I was talking about. Gotcha, Emily. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Lisa. Thank y'all very much. And Stephanie says, can I show how to change the profile pic? Yeah, I'll do that in just a second. Okay, this is a worksheet that I want you to work through. So you can create as many worksheets of these as you want to, because you can print them out at home. There's some color on here, so if you don't like to print in color, make sure that you say black and white. But this is where you can start listing out your favorite lean proteins, your favorite fibrous carbs, your favorite energy carbs. And this is where you can start building some meals. And so this would be great to do in the beginning, obviously, because that's part of your little tasks in your fast track lap, is building these. And I broke it down over 7 days to not overwhelm people, but you can do it at whatever pace you want to do it. But then I was in class one day and I suggested to some people that they make one of these for thinking through breakfast ideas. They make one of these worksheets thinking through lunch ideas. Do one of these for dinner ideas, but you can make as many of these over time that you want to. So you're going to want to do that. But working through those fast track laps is very, very important. Okay. And here's some shortcuts to the other things that you need. This video here is a video of me sharing my screen with you and showing you how to do each of these tasks in the laps. But this little thing right here is the 14 little fast track videos that you watch. By the way, those 14 fast track videos take you less than 1 hour to watch. Less than 1 hour. All right, let's see. Monica. Yes, that is a really good idea. Okay, now let me show Stephanie how to change the profile picture. Okay, so you come over here and you click on profile. And I'm pretty sure it's in preferences. Yes. So I'm going to show you again. You click on profile. Then see these tabs across here? Got these tabs up here? Click on preferences. And then you just choose file and put it out there. Let's see. I was trying to see if I had one I want to change it to. I think I'll change mine real quick. Let's see. Then you come down here and you click save. And there my profile picture changed. There we go. You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome. Well, I am so excited that I got to spend time with y'all tonight. Don't forget to come back tomorrow night, because it's just as important. And then be working your way through those laps and everything, and comment in the Shibboleth new member fast track group. And we're going to have a great time together doing this lifestyle. So I will see you hopefully in the morning. Oh, just to let you know one more thing. If you like the Shibboleth public page on Facebook, I go live there Monday through Friday, sometime in the 7 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time. And we call it the Shibby Show. And it's just a way for us to focus our day and have a morning motivation and a daily devotion. So I hope that you will join me in the morning for that and say hello and let me know that you were on here tonight. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Good, Roseanne. Awesome.